Welcome back to the Daily Mindset and Business Dojo Show. I'm John, your mindset business coach. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to change your life by asking yourself a better question. Now, this might seem a little bit straightforward and simple for people, but it actually has a lot of science in it, and it's actually how the mind actually works. What you don't realize is you're asking yourself questions all of the time. Every time you're faced with a situation, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your life, you have a certain category of questions that you pull out from related to certain situations. And that is why most of the times we don't get any change in the results we're having, because we're constantly asking the same question. You have to look at it from the perspective of there's 11 million pieces of information coming at you at any one moment, but your unconscious mind can only comprehend a certain amount of that information, right? So what actually happens is we filter, we distort, and we delete information based off of that. So we create certain generalizations, and this is often related to the quality of the questions we're asking ourselves. For example, let's look at AI and your business. So you might be asking yourself questions that are fear-based, that are coming from a space of doubt, that are coming from a space of worrying about the future instead of looking at it from the potential and the possibility ahead. So this is all going to be based on the mindset that you have, the identity that you have, the perception of possibility that creates for you, coming from those expectations about yourself and about what you expect from the world. So let's look at AI. If you're asking questions like, how will AI impact my job? What if AI replaces me? Any question that comes with that feeling of doubt, that comes with that feeling of scarcity, is what you're actually impressing onto your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind mirrors back to you what you give it. So you're planting seeds of doubt, you're planting seeds of fear. Your mind can't grow anything that's worthy from that. So you have to be able to look at the questions that you're asking yourself. What would be a higher frequency question? What would be a question that would serve you better? It could be, how can I leverage AI in my business? How can I make sure that I understand AI at a basic level so I can always stay ahead of the game? How can I get in touch with an expert who actually understands AI and who can set it up for me to make sure that I'm staying ahead of the game? These are higher frequency questions that are going to lead to better answers. But the problem for most people is we have these biases, we have this perception, and like I said, this comes from how we delete, distort, and generalize meaning. Our thoughts, our mind is always downgrading everything, right? It's always filtering things down, and what that does is it stops us from being able to actually think logically. So I want you to look at different areas of your life, whether that's your business, or whether that's your relationships, or whether it's your health. So let's just say, for example, you're having issues with your marriage right now, or having issues with employees within your business, those relationships. Like, what's a better question you can ask? It's not how can I get them to do this? What would be a higher level question? It's like, what a higher level question right away is, what question haven't we asked myself yet? What haven't we tried yet? How can we make this process even better? How can I make sure that the onboarding and the training is so good that they know exactly what it is we expect from them, what our company's about, and the role that they're going to play? These are just higher level questions. How can I make sure that my spouse feels like the most important person in the world? Much better question than, why doesn't she understand me, right? So just start to look at the questions that you're asking yourself, and then I want you to come up with a couple of questions that you can pull out of the hat in certain situations. So when you have fear coming up, or doubt coming up, or you're having challenges in relationship, business, health, the three main categories, ask yourself these couple of core questions. What might they be for you? How can I make this even better? What would be a small tweak we could make to this process that would make it even more efficient? How could I enjoy this moment just 5% more? How could I enjoy this experience that I'm having right now just 2% more? They're better questions than most of us are asking ourselves on a daily basis. So a different topic today, but something that's so important, is because you're constantly talking to yourself, you're constantly speaking to others, and you're constantly creating images in your mind, whether you actually know it or not. If I ask you to think of a purple apple right now, what comes up in your mind? A purple apple, right? Because you're creating that image within your mind. Most people will say, oh, I'm not good at visualization. You're always visualizing something because you're creating these images from the words you're using or the words that someone else is speaking to you. So pay more attention to the words you speak. pay more attention to the words you speak to yourself, and start to look at what type of images am I creating in my mind, and what questions would lead to me creating better images. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead, and don't forget, as always, ascend higher.